everybody. I'm here today with Miranda Davis, and we're at Kindred Mercantile here in downtown Conway. We're going to talk to Miranda today about her startup story. So Miranda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes,
so great to be here and see your new space. So you guys just got started.
Yes,
right?
ma'am. November 13th was our open date official.
So fantastic. So tell us a little bit about how you got here. What made you decide that you wanted to go ahead and open a mercantile here in downtown Conway?
Okay, so for me, I started in retail when I was 15 years old. I have so much passion for the industry, and I have so much passion for people. And I'll get teary-eyed talking about it. But I am 31 years in retail, and my dream has always been to have a store right here in downtown Conway. I grew up shopping on the streets with my mom. Jack and Jill as a little girl, Leffler's as a teenager, EM jeans. I mean, who didn't love EM jeans? Yeah. So, but in the meantime, I worked in corporations. The last 15 years, I've been traveling for my job. Climbed the corporate ladder as far as I wanted. And for me, this is home, and I want to bring to the community what I love.
Absolutely, I love that. So you have a variety of products in here. So tell us a little bit about kind of what Kindred provides and the products that you have and the vision that you have for the mercantile.
Okay, great. So I am so excited. My goal is definitely not to be your typical boutique. Kindred means family, and for us, our whole family is involved, and it's about bringing what we love as a family to you guys, to everyone. And I want all ladies of all ages to love coming here. I want everybody to be able to find something. I want it to be affordable. I want it to be sassy, trendy. I've got naturals, which are very important to me as well. And I love to support other local businesses as well. So just bringing it all home is exciting.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about that. And when we first got here, that the local merchants and the local vendors that you partner with. So do you have a few products you could show us of some local vendors that we could see?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So let's sneak around here. And so with my jewelry, I've got some great clay earrings. These are made from a girl in Valonia. She's a school teacher. Aren't these precious? Very hot. This is Paris, Arkansas, is where these are made. I've got some macrame earrings that are made here in Little Rock. And then also these are made, the original owner, Miss Beth from next door, Branch Out, she made these adorable earrings. And then as you look up here, my macrame, I don't know if you can zoom in on that, but a lot of that is made from a lady right here in Little Rock, actually. Super talented. We're hoping to be able to do, once COVID is over and we move on, we're hoping to do some macrame classes.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, and then all of my graphic tees and my retro sweatshirts, which is our hottest seller, those are printed right here local in Conway by MIGTs.
Okay.
So yeah, well, I just have to show you this, because this is the retro sweatshirt. It is all the craze.
Oh,
Cannot keep them in stock. They're only $28. I know, isn't it great? And you can wear this in the summertime. Like, think when you go to the beach, throw it on with your shorts, got your sweatshirt. All the girls are doing that, you know. So awesome. So yeah, that's some of our local vendors. I mean, there's so many more. I've got woodworking, leather bags, all of my 100% organic, wild harvested essential oils. The one on top, that is Plant Spirit, which is in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I've personally been using those for about 11 years. Love her product. They're just so good, so good. And I've got lots of options with diffusers to go with those too. So even little car ones or laptop ones.
That's exciting. So that aspect of bringing in local vendors to your business. So other than, I know you're from Arkansas, you're from Conway, and you want to bring those in. So why is that so important to you to bring in those vendors into your business?
I mean, for me, it's all about supporting local. Number one is the main thing. I know there's so many ladies out there, and it's not just all ladies, but it tends to be a lot in here because it's easy. They have their full-time job, maybe they're moms, maybe they're not, and this is what they're good at, and they have passion for it, and I want to share that passion with everybody. And you can't, for me, I was working my 120 hours a week at my corporate job. I had two booths at the Painted Tree in Little Rock, and I was doing weekend event shows and helping my husband make all of this woodworking stuff at the same time. And it's exhausting. And there's so many more people out there that are doing that. And so why not give them an opportunity to bring their stuff in local and share? I mean, for me, God gave me this opportunity. This is God's business. Sorry, there's the mailman. Everybody wave at the mailman. And I want everybody else to have that same opportunity to grow their business and become entrepreneurs on their own and do what they love. Embrace your passion, you know? That's what I've done.
So that's interesting. So you had a booth at the Painted, or 2 booths at the Painted Tree. So how long did you do that before you decided, okay, I'm going to open my own storefront in downtown Conway?
A year. So I had an online website. I had booths at the Painted Tree, and I did like weekend events like Bella Restina, like they're doing one this weekend in Maumelle, and we would travel and do those on the weekend as well. So I had that running for a year before I made this huge leap of faith. And for me, I'm going to be totally honest, because I am just vulnerable. That's who I am. When COVID hit, I had the opportunity to work at home with my company for a month, and it really let me see what being at home was about. I have been traveling for my jobs for over 15 years. I'm living in a hotel room every night. It's good to be home.
Yeah.
You know, it's so good to be home.
Yeah.
So that's me. And literally, I just got to that moment that I said, all right, Lord, this is yours. Like, I'm exhausted and I'm spread out and I want to be home with my family. And my husband, Rick, and I have been married 27 years.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And, you know, for me, we kind of had that moment that we're like, you know, we've been married 27 years. We've worked so hard. And, you know, I've been working out of town and, you know, he had his own business and it's a lot. And then we kind of hit that point. It's like, oh, our kids are grown now. And do we really want to spend the next part of our life separate with me working out of town and him being at home? No, let's do it together. You know, and so that's kind of how it was born. And I had visions of, you know, the craft shows and the booths and we brought that to life. And then I just kind of hit that moment that I was like, you know what? This is what life really is. It's about being home and spreading the love right here at home in the community that I grew up in. And I stepped out on faith and quit my job, and here we are. This is what we're doing, and just, you know, to God be the glory. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah. So y'all, you did a little bit of de-risking there though, because you kind of, you know, you did your shows and things before, and you had your booths before you got started, before you just kind of jumped into it. But the decision to jump in and start this happened pretty quickly, right?
It did. So my plan, I had constructed, like I said, obviously in corporate management for as many years as I've been, I'm a strategizer. So I had strategized my 3-year escape from the corporate world. Well, you gotta plan. So I have a planner. So I had already planned out and kind of came up with my strategic game plan of 3 years to get out of the corporate world. And that was part of the online website and the booths and the weekend events and, you know, going ahead and getting all of the legal stuff taken care of, which is, this is the fun part. So I went ahead and did that as a plan, and really it was a 3-year plan. But then, to be honest, it was like I said, like that moment hit that I was like, what am I waiting for? Why give it 3 years? Why not do it now? You know, why not?
Yeah.
So here we are.
So from the time that you decided that to opening day, how long was that?
About 2 weeks. About 2 weeks. Yeah.
So what
or
was,
less, maybe.
So what was that process like? Because that is a crazy turnaround. Now you had some product, you had already relationships with vendors, you've been doing this, but that's a quick turnaround to get a space open and all the product in.
Yes. So for me, it was I made that decision. I partnered with Miss Kim Williams at the Downtown Partnership. I actually Facebook messaged, and whoever answered said, oh, you need to talk to Miss Kim Williams. And she is amazing. Oh my goodness. And she literally sent me a spreadsheet of what spaces were open and what the addresses were and what the rent was and who owns them and the contact number. I mean, it was amazing. And one of my best friends, she's a school teacher here in Conway, and one night she literally, I was out of state at the time, working, and she literally drove to every storefront, took a picture, and texted me the picture with the address below it so I could see what it looked like.
Yeah.
And when I saw this space with all these windows, I was like, oh my goodness, I probably can't afford it. I don't know. And so then I just kind of like literally one day, the next day, I did process elimination of storefront, location, rent, you know, all of that. And I narrowed it to 2 spaces, which was this one and one on the other side of the tracks. And I was going to contact both of them. I went to call the other one that the Brooks Jewelry people own, and it was already rented. So process elimination, there was one left. And it was actually the one that I was like, oh, I love that. And when I contacted, it's the Edward Jones, Mr. Granger, who owns the building, and I contacted him, and he was so just wonderful. And I was like, I'm out of state, I'm not going to be back for 2 weeks. Like, do I need to send my brother or my daughter or somebody to look at it? He's like, no, don't worry about it. We'll, just come in when you can. And wow, like who is that? I mean, when I say like everything lined up, like God opened the doors for me to walk in once I made the decision and gave it to him. And it was that smooth. Like, I can't even tell you how smooth it was. So I met with him on Tuesday, got the key on Friday. We were already set up at Bella Rustina that weekend. So here I am. I'd already pulled stuff out of the painted tree to set up at Bella Rustina here in Conway. And we got the key on Friday while we were at Bella Rustina. My amazing family, I come from a construction family. Okay. So there's a feather in the hat too. And my amazing family came in on Saturday while I was running the Bella Rustina show. And they covered up all the neon pink and blue with 15 gallons of white paint and got everything taken care of that needed to be done. And poof, we opened on Saturday for it was a downtown Christmas.
Yes. Yeah.
Something.
The open house.
Yeah, open house. Yes. So we did a pop open on Saturday. We literally brought stuff from the booth and from Bella over, did just a pop open, let people know we were here. It was a great turnout. And then we, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we closed the doors and did some building of these amazing pallet walls and some things that needed to be done, and just the fixtures. We built all the fixtures ourselves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. So we took a couple days to do that, and then we popped back open. So it was that fast.
And here you are.
And here we are. And here we are. So yes, and daily I add more things and build more fixtures, and yeah, it's great.
So how has that transition from corporate life, traveling and running like a corporate type storefront? It's the same industry but a little different, and then it being your baby, you own it, and having to work all the jobs, be all the people, all the things. How is that transition?
It's so funny because for me it is so amazing. Like I get very passionate. It's so awesome. This is literally my dreams come true. And I have zero regrets about the places that I grew in the retail industry, because I learned something at every place. And I made some amazing friends, amazing mentors. I learned some the hard way and some the good way. But that's part of it. And so for me, I love it. It's my store. If I want to handcraft hearts on the windows and say love one another, I can. Yeah. I mean, it's my rules. And so that I absolutely love. I love being able to support locals. I love being right here downtown. Some of the girls from church, they can pop in. If they just want to pop in and talk, if they want to shop, whatever. That's what we're here for. And so for me, it's just, I'm so excited. I just want to share with everybody. I want everybody to know we're here. Tell your friends. Say a prayer for us. That's what the community can do for us. Put us on your prayer list and share. Prayer and share. Yeah. That's what we want you to do.
So in that process, have there been any bumps in the road that you've experienced that you kind of had to pivot or overcome to be able to to get, I know you just opened in November, you know, you're in your infant stages of having the storefront, but have there been any kind of bumps in the road that you've had to overcome?
I mean, not major, honestly, and for me, like, I guess because of the role that I played as a traveling district manager overseeing 22 stores, 5 states, working with corporate on things all the time, these bumps are nothing compared to those obstacles.
Yes.
I mean, the only real challenge is because this is a historic building. I want to keep it historic. I don't want to screw into the concrete wall. You know, it's important to me, the history of it. So I've had to be a little creative with, like, you know, doing bars from the ceiling. And, you know, the lighting, it's on the list. Like, I'm going to have to get more lighting and just little things, but nothing too serious. You know, we have one fitting room, and I don't want to tear out the wall because it's the history of the building.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, if we have more than one person wants to try on a time, I have to use the bathroom too. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So those are minor obstacles.
Well, absolutely. So we're going to open it up for questions pretty soon. So if anyone has any questions that they want to ask Miranda about her startup story, and Kindred Mercantile will open it up. So go ahead and throw those in the comments. But I do want to ask you, so what is your vision for Kindred? Where do you see this going as you continue to grow? I know you're early on in your stages.
That's okay. That's what you're a planner.
Yeah, what's your dream? I know you're a planner. I know you're thinking.
Oh, I am. So for me, this right here, 3 to 5 years. You know, I look at everything in 3-year increments, and in 3 years from now, my goal would be to either be in a position I would have to make a decision. That would be the ideal situation, is to grow out of this space and decide, does that mean a second location somewhere, or does that mean a bigger location right here in Conway? That would be my goal, but I want to always stay true to who I am, and so that's something I reevaluate literally every Monday morning. I sit down and reevaluate what happened through the week. Am I staying true when I'm ordering product? Am I staying true to who I am and who my promise to the community is? You know, like, I carry from a small through a 3X, and it's important that I have that wide size range. I carry local things. It's important. I try to find USA as much as I can. The other states, you know, these are from Texas, you know, South Carolina. Like, I try really hard to find the right vendors and the quality of product, and I literally am constantly reevaluating that. So I do have some goals of certain things that I want, and I've already reached some of those goals. So one of my goals was to have 3 brands that people recognize, and so I've already kind of reached that goal with having brands that people recognize and things that everybody else doesn't have. And then, of course, the storefront was the big piece. I want to be involved in some community activities. For us, we personally have some organizations that we've given back to for years, but now as a business, I've got to, like, look at that and say, okay, there's organizations I didn't even know about. I mean, like, this lady who writes this children's book, she's here in Conway, and she writes this book, and all of her proceeds goes to a nonprofit in Little Rock that I've never even heard of. How have I never heard of that? Maybe because I was traveling out of state for work. But so I think that's a big piece for me, is also evaluating what nonprofits to be a part of, where to give back, how we can donate our time to other people here locally. So there's just so many little things that I kind of have on the list that probably wouldn't mean anything to anybody else, but means a lot to me.
No, I think that's important. So I also have a question around your advice for entrepreneurs that are thinking about taking the plunge like you did, whether it be a Main Street business or just another kind of business that they have rolling around their head. What is your advice to those entrepreneurs?
Oh, Lord. That's a loaded question. I think it depends on the industry that they're currently in, if I'm being honest. Because for me, the retail part of this is super easy because it's like the back of my hand. It's what I know. But if it wasn't that the case, it would be different. So I would say use your resources. Definitely use your resources. Strategic plan. Write things down. Journal. That's one of the biggest things. I know it sounds like kind of childish because you hear about journaling. Journal. That's one of the things I did when I started my website and my booths over a year ago. I started journaling every show, every event, everything that happened so that I could learn from it. So you got to be open to learn and open to listen. I mean, for me, I've reached out to some other local businesses that have been here for years that I respect and ask them for advice. You know, I'm not afraid to say, hey, who do you use for your taxes? Who do you use for this? I don't know what this means. Can you help me? And so that's my advice.
Oh, I love that. I love that leaning on others, you know, that and benchmarking and things like that is so important. And I think that's why this downtown community area is so great to be a part of. You know, you have Kim, wonderful resource, but then you also have others that have done this for a while that you can lean on, and there's a lot of collaboration down here.
Yes.
So, Miranda, do we have any questions from our chat?
We do. So Kelsey asks, what has been the biggest challenge in finding additional vendors?
I really haven't ran into any challenges finding additional vendors. I've had a lot of people reach out to me. So I think that people are proud of what they do. I've sought out a few people myself because I know what they do, but I really haven't had any challenges. I would say use social media as your platform for that. So like look at other people's, like the earrings online and what the comments are of the quality, and then I've reached out to a few of those people myself, but mostly they've all reached out to me first, honestly.
How do you gauge that? So if you have a lot of interest from people that are wanting to become vendors, how do you know, okay, this is something I want to put in the store versus this doesn't really fit with my vision?
Yeah.
How do you make sure you stay in line?
So that is probably the challenging thing, because as people, naturally we want to think with our feelings, but fortunately I've been in the corporate retail world for a long time and I've been taught not to think with my feelings.
So you know how to say no?
Because it's all about business. And even if I try things and they don't work, like, it's business. It's not personal. I personally am buying everything outright. So I think that that's a decision you have to make, is if you're going to do like shelf space rent or consignment, or if you're going to buy outright. So for me, I buy outright wholesale.
Okay.
And it's my problem from there. That way, if a customer damages it, it's mine. If I don't have to keep up with it, I mean, as far as like how much I sold of who's like a consigner. So I just would rather not deal with the headache of that, honestly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a decision you have to make when you're doing locals. And then if you buy something that's not good quality, you have to stand up for yourself and say, hey, 2 of those were broken. I can't do that. Like, it's business. And if it's too big, I mean, for me, I'm small on space. So I have had a couple people reach out that I've had to say no to, which hurts my heart. But as a business person, it's what I got to do because I'm tight on space right now. But I'm more than happy to give that person's name out of, hey, this person makes this, if you're interested.
Yeah, and you have maximized every ounce of space in this whole place. We talked about that earlier, but you have done a great job of getting a ton of product in here.
Yes.
You could shop in here for an hour.
Exactly.
So
but it doesn't feel overwhelming or crowded. You can still space out and, shop. Yes.
Exactly. So do you have any other questions?
Any other questions? Okay.
Well, awesome. Well, I want to ask you one more question.
Okay, yes.
So tell me about, when I walked in, I saw Galentine's Day. So tell me about Galentine's Day.
Yes, I'm so excited. Okay, so Friday night this week, we are going to do a Galentine event. We're saying 5 to 8. Of course, we will be here until there is no one
Shop
here.
till you drop.
Girl, I'll be here till midnight if you want to shop. It's going to be cold, but it's okay. So 5 to 8, Galentine night. Grab a friend, a mom, a sister, whoever, and come in. So what we're going to do is I've got some little goodie bags that I'm giving everybody a goodie bag, and I actually have one made up. I can show you
Yes,
guys.
let's look at the goodie bag.
Yeah, here's the little goodie bag. So it's got our name on it. This is the best little reusable tote. Like when you go
It's a good size.
It's perfect. I know, because you can throw stuff in here. So you've got your little box of chocolates, because who doesn't love some chocolate hearts? Bath bomb. This is a essential oil natural bath bomb. And then of course you got to have your sponge with you. Yeah. And then I've got, this is a key holder that is like the touchless. It's like the COVID doors. Yes, for opening doors.
That's cute.
So I've got that, and then I also have just assorted earrings. So these two are going to be different in everybody's bag.
So each
but just
bag is
little
a little
earrings.
different.
Yeah, I mean, each bag will be a little different, but it'll have lots of goodies in it.
So how do you get the goodie bag from Valentine's Day? Like how do
You show up. You
Wow,
show up
okay.
5 to 8 on Friday night this week. You show up, you get a bag. You also, with every purchase, you get entered into a grand prize. Now, here's the thing I love about the grand prize. So, talking about my passion for community, I have several, and I can't even name them off the top of my head because I'm still working on it, but I have several locals that have donated gift certificates or, off the top of my head, I can say like Wonder Haws.
Okay.
August down at Wonder Halls, we love to eat there. They donated some of their swag and some gift certificates to come and eat
yeah.
there. Grab and go
Perfect in
meats.
time for Valentine's Day.
Right,
too, yeah.
right. Grab and go meats, which is a, like, I don't know if you're aware. It's
Off 65.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
okay, yeah.
So we go to church with them. Wonderful people. We want to help support their business. Coffee, the Think Coffee.
Yes.
They're donating something. I don't know what yet, but they're donating something. There's a couple of other like retail. There's a girl, Fringe, and I'm blank right now. I'm so sorry. But you'll see it listed on the website.
Yeah.
But she is another boutique, but she focuses a little more on like the Western gear,
Mhm.
which is not really what I do. So we partnered with her. So there's several. Those are the ones I can think off the top of my
Well,
head.
awesome.
There's a lot of neat. And so you got your goodie bag. You get 10% off your entire purchase while you're here, even if it's on sale. And you get entered into the grand prize drawing. And we're going to have some individually wrapped refreshments, which some of those are going to be from local like vendors as
Mhm.
well. But then some of them are not. So got to do a little bit of both. And some cute little bottles of water. So,
Awesome.
so yeah, we'll have snacks. Oh, and we're going to have a photo booth. Don't forget the photo booth. So right here will be the photo booth. Yes.
Cute.
We kind of already started cleaning up for it to get it ready. So
Well, awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Miranda, for
Thank
sharing
you.
about your story and about Kindred, and I'm so excited for you as you continue on this journey. And then we'll have to check back in 3 to 5 years and see how many of those things you checked off and how quickly
I
you did it.
know, yes.
So,
and
awesome.
and just y'all come for Galentine's, and it was such a pleasure to meet you guys. I
Yeah.
appreciate y'all so much.
All right. Well, join us next month for our next startup stories.